Hi, my name is Ruan and I chose Just Cause 3 as my Let's Play assignment for IMY 300. So I will be analyzing Just Cause 3 and the core mechanics and overall the game. So just a bit of background about Just Cause 3, it's a very fast-paced open world game. It's a game that I love, but it's all about destruction and chaos and flying around. So with all of that, let's get into the overall design of the game. So for the overall design, it is an open world game, and this character, Rico, is the main character, and it's about how a dictator, Di Ravello, has overtaken and is ruling this entire city of the map, which you can see here. You can liberate some towns, and then these are towns that I haven't liberated yet. So it's all about Rico being the lead rebel, taking back this entire country. It's all about chaos and freedom. It's a very sandbox game. You can do basically whatever you want to. There is campaign, and you can do the campaign if you want, or you can just mess around on your own. So this game has two main core mechanics, and those two are movement and destruction. Now, movement starts with this grappling hook on his left arm, and you use that to get around the map, and you can also use it to tie things down. Part of the movement mechanic is this parachute that can be used once you're in the air, and you can still use the grappling hook while you're in the air. And this wingsuit. This is the main movement for moving fast, and you can pick up speed quite fast with this. The other core mechanic is destruction, and this is through guns and explosions. The reason for this game. And if I pull up my gun here, you can see obviously I can shoot people. Got grenades, grenade launchers as well. This whole game revolves around the movement and destruction of your character, Rico Rodriguez. And these two combined make for a very fast-paced game, as you can use both these mechanics at the same time. If I can show you quickly. Here you can see I can pull out my weapons while I'm using my parachute. For variations of the core mechanic, most of these variations come through upgrades. And if you go to upgrades, go to gear mods, there are many different upgrades and gear mods that are available, from destructive weapons to explosive mods, weapons, feathers, wingsuit, land vehicles, and then sea, air, parachute that is boosted, and everything else. So if you go to tethers, you can complete challenges to get gears. And then based on the gears, you can select which upgrades you would like to choose. So here is more max tethers. So here it increases from 2 to 4, and then to 6, and then here is also strength. So the way you do these challenges is if you go to the map and you have a look here, anything with this icon would be the explosive mods to gain gears for them. And that is how you upgrade your weapons, is by doing all of these side quests and side missions and challenges to get more gears. Now, what a tether is if you use this the grappling hook, and you can attach it to anything. I'm going to just attach it to these two. So now they are attached. You can drag it closer, or you can just start the car, drive around with it. Now, this is a variation of the core mechanic, which is the grappling hook, and you can use this to attach enemies to anything, explosive weapons, vehicles, anything you can think of. And the other variation of the grappling hook is if I reel in here, you can get extra speed. So it's a speed of reel in. So that's an upgrade that I got, that now I can reel in faster and then gain more ground with whichever way I want to. For movement with a wingsuit, if I go here to gear mods and go to the traversals, and just for an example, this is a part of a DLC, you can get this boosted wingsuit, which uses Bavarium, which is a rare resource that can only be found on this island that the game plays in, and it uses this to control the speed of the wingsuit, so you would not need your grappling hook anymore. But this is part of the DLC. And any upgrades for anything in this game is done through these challenges, where you complete the specific challenges to gain more gears. For example, for the car, you can start with getting nitros, then you can get a jumping boost, and for longer and more jumping boost. Then you can get rebel drop restocks, which is if you go here, you can just choose whatever you want to call in. And there's for every single aspect of the game. Through the use of upgrades to bring variations into the core mechanics, this also helps freshen up the game and keeps you interested in not just the story modes, but going along and doing all of these challenges to get more gears, to upgrade your gear. For example, for the shooting here, you get more special ammo or precision aim, when you start off, you cannot aim down the sights. It's a third-person game, but you cannot aim down the sights like this unless you have that. So especially with sniper rifles, it's much more useful because you can properly aim down the scope of the sniper rifles. This will keep the mechanic fresh and keep the players' interest peaked on the game to not just liberate all the towns or to do all the campaign missions, but to actually try and upgrade the gear to help them in that and to make it more fun and enjoyable, especially with the tethers, being able to use more to just mess around in the map more. For meaningful choices that the players can make through the game, these will affect the way that you can destroy the bases. This is just a small little base that I'm going to use as an example. Now you can either use, if we go to rebel drops here, this is a way to call in any extra vehicles or weapons that you would like or need. If I go to tanks, and then I can choose any of these tanks that I have available, I'm going to choose this one, and I can choose any extra weapons that I would like, and I can call this in and throw the beacon down anyway, and now just wait for the rebels, my teammates, to come drop package for me. Let me just pick up all these things.
Another tool of the trade.
So now I can get into this tank and I can liberate and destroy all of the enemy things in this base.
Sure you want to do this?
I can liberate this base through the use of my tank or any other vehicles and just cause mayhem and distractions. Or if I prefer to do it more on foot, I can. And I can use my actual weapons. And there we go. Now we have liberated this outpost. And this way the players can choose exactly how they want to play the game through the use of tanks or any other military vehicles or what guns they would like to use, or through tethers. You can attach any of these buildings that we hear to tethers and also drag them close to each other the same way you can do with this. And if they collide with each other, that could also cause an explosion. So as part of the meaningful choices that you can make, apart from being able to use whatever you want to destroy bases or get around the map in various different vehicles that you can just unblock throughout the map. If I wanted to unlock that vehicle, I could just drive it to one of these depots and I would be able to call that in using this rebel drop. Another way meaningful choices can impact the gameplay is that this game is largely a sandbox game. And there are these towns that you can liberate and these main missions that you can complete. But if you do not feel like doing them, you can come to this city and grab this like little Easter egg thing where you can see my head is quite big. So if I attached all of these people that I just shot to this car, let me just get these last two people as well. And then I use this gun and I'll also make their heads bigger. You'll see that they start flying because it's a balloon gun. So you'll see they start to pick up the car. So if you touch enough people or just get a lighter car, I don't have more tethers now, then you can literally make things fly and do whatever you want to in this game. The physics allows you to do basically anything you want to in this game and affect the game as much as you want to. You can take the missions very seriously or be very goofy and take guns like this into the missions and start shooting the enemies in the mission and make them to start flying. When it comes to uncertainty, this game has quite dynamic AI enemies, which you can hear fighting in the background. If you have liberated some of the towns in the cities, which are denoted by the blue is what I have liberated and the red is what I have not liberated, you will see a lot of the rebels start fighting the enemies as it is going on here. You can hear the shooting in the background and the enemies lying on the floor. That's a rebel teammate. And these fights will just go down randomly in these cities and these towns. There are also cities like this that I haven't liberated where you can see on the left-hand side the things that you have to do in order to liberate the city. And one of these is destroying the statue. Now, the statue can be destroyed using anything, grenades, explosives. You can shoot at it, or you can use your tethers and pull them over, or attach tethers to a helicopter and attach the other end to the statue and then destroy the statue. Now, part of this is some of these speakers that are around here. Diravello uses for propaganda, and you should also destroy these. And as you can see, after destroying one of these speaker systems on the left, the bubble will start filling up. Now, a lot of the uncertainty within this game comes from chain reaction and explosions and things like this. So any of these red things usually you can destroy and are explosive. So you can attach them to walls or to enemies. You can attach an enemy to you, and if you drag them, they will start exploding. So you can attach all of these explosive things to one another, and then they will interact dynamically in the environment, and they will all explode. Things like that. So a lot of the uncertainty in this game comes from these random explosions and everything, because you might not know where the explosions are coming from, where they're going, where the enemies are coming from, and what they are busy doing. In terms of dynamic enemy AIs, as I mentioned earlier, you can see here I am in the same town I was in earlier, just in the military side of it. And the enemies will keep spawning while you are here to try and stop you from liberating this town. If I open these gates, either by pressing there or opening there, you will see that some of the rebels, which I don't know where they are right now, will come and help you in your fight. Here they are. Your rebels will come and help you fight and liberate the city. The conflict and the outcome and conclusion of this game comes from your character, Rico, and the main antagonist in this game, which is Duravello, the communist leader that has gotten a rule and that is ruling this country. Emergence in this game comes from unscripted chaos and destruction. As with any town you liberate or any interaction that you have with any of the enemies within this game is completely unscripted. It changes every single time you interact with them, because it depends on what you are doing within the game. There are also lots of funny moments within this game, as I've shown you with this balloon head, that you can make any cars go flying. You can attach them to planes and affect the physics of them. There's also a lot of unplanned outcomes. You can plan on destroying the base like this using only tethers, but with the chaos in this game, you might get a completely unplanned outcome. When it comes to feedback loops in this game, we'll discuss positive first. The positive feedback loops in this game includes the unlocking of new upgrades, weapons, wingsuits in the gear mod tab. You can choose what path you would like to follow, what is more important to you, the player, to help you progress in the story and in the fun of this game. You can also unlock new vehicles. Every single vehicle in this game is unlockable. Every vehicle you see in the map, you can drive to a vehicle depot, and then you will have unlock that vehicle, and you can call that vehicle whenever you want in a rebel drop. You can also unlock new wingsuits and new military vehicles through completing the story, DLCs, and liberating bases. The more bases you liberate, the more vehicles and weapons you can get. When it comes to negative feedback loops within this game, there is not much negative feedback within this game to stop the user from progressing too fast. You can complete the entire story mode before liberating all of the towns, or you can liberate all of them. You can unlock all the weapons, and this will also punish half efforts when it comes to liberating towns. That users will not only liberate a certain amount of towns just so they can carry on with the campaign. Another way is for city instability. If you have liberated half the towns within that city, but you leave the rest and you carry on with, let's say, missions or anything else, the enemy will start taking back some of those liberated towns over a period of time. So unless the entire city is saved, the enemy will start taking back the towns that you have liberated, causing you to have to re-liberate those towns to liberate the entire city. This will stop slacking off, because it will cause you to lose progress unless you liberate everything. Now, for some negative comments about the game, of things that I have realized while playing this game, is yes, there are a lot of towns, and there is variation in the towns and the cities and in the story missions, but they all follow one another. The story missions is usually you have to protect this person or protect this vehicle from waves of enemies that come in. And liberating towns and liberating military bases do become repetitive after a while, and that can get boring, because you have to liberate a certain amount of cities to be able to do this mission. Then you do this mission, and then you can do 3 more missions, and then you first have to liberate a few more towns. And this cycle of gameplay can become quite boring and repetitive for some users. To summarize this game and all of its mechanics, is there's a lot of freedom within this game. You can complete this game or play this game however you like. You can focus on liberating bases before you start the story missions to aid you. You can focus on liberating towns and bases before you do the missions. You can do the missions before doing all of them. You can just use it as a sandbox game and just play around with all the physics within the game and just have fun in this game. As far as content goes with this game, you will never truly run out of content, as you can make your own content within the game. The core mechanics of wingsuiting, grappling, and parachuting does set this game apart from any competition, as there aren't many games that focus on the movement before the actual combat. The guns and destruction adds a very nice twist that if you just want to play a game where you do not have to focus all the time and be very good at it, you can just sit on the couch and play this game and just destroy as many buildings as you want to and just create chaos as far as you go. The variation of the core mechanic is also done very well while keeping it fresh, being able to see a clear upgrade path for the future, getting better wingsuits and more tethers, stronger tethers, more explosives. The challenges also keep it interesting. There's an interesting way of upgrading all of your tools that you have at your disposal, using those tools in a challenge. For example, the wingsuit having to complete a wingsuit path where you fly through circles in the sky. The meaningful choices in this game are also well thought out, where the user has complete freedom, as I've said multiple times, of what they would like to do and how they would like to accomplish what they want to do. There is also a degree of uncertainty in this game due to the AI and the environments and the chain reactions, and the emergence of this game, as I said earlier, is completely unscripted and it is just chaotic. With all of that said, that concludes with all of this said, that concludes my review on this game with all of its core mechanics and variations. With all of that said, this concludes my review of this game as a Let's Play using all of the theory that I have been taught in IMY 300 to analyze this game as to why it works, what works, and why certain things don't work.